Let me tell you about the characters in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. You all know probably that 29 characters come to the Tabard Inn in Southwark where Chaucer is waiting. Chaucer is just a passerby. He meets 29 pilgrims, and the next day they are joined by the innkeeper, Harry Bailey, and they all go to the shrine of St. Thomas Becket at Canterbury. Now, Chaucer in the general prologue is telling us about these characters. These characters are all telling stories on the way to Canterbury and on the way back. Well, it was Harry Bailey, the innkeeper, who decided that in order to shorten the way, let all the 30 passengers except himself tell 2 tales on the way to Canterbury and 2 tales on the way back. Altogether, there should be 120 tales, but the Canterbury tales is incomplete. There are only 24 tales. In the general prologue, we get the pen pictures of 21 pilgrims, starting from the knight. The knight is a perfect gentleman. He is a chivalric knight. What is chivalry? Chivalry is politeness, generosity, protecting women, ready to die for your kingdom and Christendom or Christianity, bravery or valor. Our knight in the Canterbury Tales has undertaken lots of pilgrimages. He has also gone fighting in the Crusades. Because why pilgrimage? Because he's a religious man. Why fighting? Because he's a chivalric knight. He has traveled across Europe fighting for Christendom, and he never takes off his armor. The knights have special armor. This knight never takes it off in case he has to fight in between. His armor is stained with rust and oil. And he's wearing a coarse shirt. It is Diwali and patake crackers are bursting. Now, the knight is accompanied by his son, the Squire. The Squire is like his father, very chivalrous. The Squire is also fashionable. He's a young man of 20. He wears a short gown with long sleeves. And he's very good at jousting. What is jousting? Jousting is fighting with a pointed sword. The Squire spends sleepless nights like his father. His father is fighting for Christendom, and the Squire is fighting for his lady loves. He can't sleep because of love sickness. He is not like his father. Our Squire sleeps no more than doth a nightingale. A nightingale sings all night and doesn't sleep. The Squire also doesn't sleep. Did you understand? The Squire tells an oriental tale of a talking falcon. Falcon means eagle. The knight and Squire are accompanied by the yeoman. The yeoman is higher than the peasant, and he is like a Robin Hood character. Robin Hood is a character who protects the weak people and attacks the corrupt people. The yeoman is a forester. He wears a green hood. After the knight and Squire and the yeoman come the prioress. The prioress is an ecclesiastical woman. She's like a nun, and she's upper class. She's rich, and she comes with 3 priests and a nun. The prioress's name is Madame Eglantine. She is not always engaged in divine things. She is aware of her beauty and she is secretly amorous. The prioress is very ladylike. She does not let a morsel fall from her lips. She does not dip her fingers too deep in the sauce. Her fingers are always clean. And when she drinks from the cup, she makes sure to wipe the cup so as to take the grease off it. Her cup will not be greasy. I am pouring out some water for myself. The prioress has with her some small dogs. She feeds them milk and roast meat. While human beings are starving and dying, she doesn't care for them. The prioress is singing in a nasal tone like a fashionable lady. And she speaks French in the fashionable manner of Stratford. She speaks Stratford French. She's very tender-hearted. If somebody beats her dogs, she can't bear it. If she sees a mouse in a cage, that also she can't bear. A mouse in a trap, I mean. She can't bear. The prioress is secretly amorous. She wears a coral rosary with green beads. And the pendant of the rosary says A. A means amor vincit omnia, or love conquers all. Is that suitable for a prioress? The next important character is the monk. Chaucer is full of admiration for the monk. He's a manly man to be an abbot able. That is what Chaucer thinks. The monk has a clean shaven head and he has a very smooth face as if anointed with oil. The monk is wearing expensive clothes. He's always out hunting. He doesn't stay within his cloister in his monastery and pray and study. He doesn't do that. He doesn't care for the rules of the monastery. He says, let Saint Augustine do what he wants. I can't do it. He doesn't care for Maurice or Benedict, the saints. He loves his venery. Venery might mean outdoor fun. It might mean sex. The monk has great love for hunting. So he has full-blooded horses. And his greyhounds are as swift as birds. Wow. And he loves good food. His favorite food is roast swan. Swan is such an innocent, beautiful creature. Roast swan. Oh, that's too cruel. So the monk and the prioress are both hypocritical. The next ecclesiastical character is the friar. The friar is supposed to live by begging. He is from the mendicant order. That means he has to live by begging. Why? Because he is supposed to help the poor people in the parish, the beggars, lepers, etc. He is not interested in them. He is interested in the barmaids and tavern keepers of the parish. He is interested in their immoral love affairs. He even got a few women into trouble probably because he got a few women married at his own cost. Look at this friar. The friar plays the fiddle. The fiddle. The squire plays the pipe. And the friar has an athletic body, but his neck is as white as a lily. The friar is very good at taking bribes. If a woman comes without shoes, without money to pay for her husband's tomb, this friar will extract money out of them. He's very clever. He lisps. He lisps. Lisping is this, talking like this. He lisps so that his speech will sound cute and sweet. He tries to please the women of the parish. He carries pins and knives for the women. He is seducing them. Another immoral ecclesiast is the pardoner. The pardoner is such a vulgar fellow. He has yellow flaxen hair, long yellow flaxen hair that he wears loose without a hood. The pardoner is a treacherous man. He is cheating everybody. You know, in those days, the church had an immoral practice. If somebody is a sinner, the church will issue certificates for money. Give us money, we will give you a certificate saying you are pardoned of your sins. Now that is an immoral practice. Our pardoner is cheating even the immoral church. Our pardoner has written his own pardons, fake pardons, and he is selling them. He is such a treacherous man. He is carrying some bones of sheep, of animals that he has eaten probably, and he's telling everybody, these are bones of saints, these are relics. To touch them, you can pay money to me. The worst thing is, he's carrying a pillowcase. He's carrying a pillowcase and saying, this is Our Lady's veil. This is our Virgin Mary's veil. Such a treacherous man. And he sings in a nasal voice, come hither, love, to me. Come hither, love, to me. What a horrible man this pardoner is, isn't it? The pardoner has a companion, the summoner. His face is full of pimples. So red, he has scaly eyebrows. Children are afraid of him. The summoner works in the ecclesiastical court. His job is to summon witnesses. The summoner is a very vulgar man. He eats onions, garlic, leeks, all the smelly things, and he is smelling. He also drinks blood red wine to excess. He's a gluttonous fellow. He also, like the friar, took bribes, and he spouted a few Latin phrases in order to sound sweet. Look at the summoner. He also, like the friar, controlled the young people in the parish. Their love affairs and things are his interest. Don't think all the ecclesiasts are bad people. There is the ideal parson. The parson is an ideal man. He never preached what he did not practice. The parson never left his parishioners and went to London to make money. He never did anything wrong. He always said, if gold rusts, what will iron do? He said that. He always cared for the poor people. He never looked down upon anybody for not paying money to the church. In fact, if a poor parson came who had no money, he will pay money out of his pocket. Our parson has a brother, the plowman. The plowman is also an ideal peasant. He would do hard work. The plowman would do hard work. He will carry cartloads of dung. He loved first God, then his neighbor. He paid all his taxes really well. Everything was perfect with the parson and the plowman. Then there is the clerk of Oxford. Let me have a drink of water, please. The clerk of Oxford is spending all his time in studying. He doesn't do anything else. He doesn't pray for anybody else. He doesn't help anybody else. He prays only for people who help him with studies. So selfish. He's not ideal. The Clerk of Oxford has 20 books, which Chaucer is wondering at. And Chaucer says, this man uses his books for pillows. He is using his books for pillows. Matlab, he is sleeping on his books, right? Arey. And this man, Clerk of Oxford, loved Aristotle's logic. He was very lean because he never cared for good food or good clothes. Even his horse is lean. That is, he is not feeding his horse also. He is not having food. He is not feeding his horse also. Horse either. That is the Clerk of Oxford. And then he never spent any money on himself. He only had money that other people gave him. Then there is the professional classes, the middle classes. They are very good at their professions, but they are treacherous. Such as the merchant. The merchant has gone to many countries. The merchant wear multicolored clothes from abroad. And the merchant is supposed to be rich, but he is actually heavily in debt. He deals with fur from Flanders. He deals with furs from Flanders. He is newly and unhappily married. And such a story he tells as well. Then there is the man of law or the sergeant of law. He is very good at law cases. He has memorized law cases from 300 years ago, from the time of William the Conqueror. Hurry, is that even necessary, you will think? The man of law is actually rich. He's a wealthy social climber. And he's buying land. He seems busier than he really is. Even though he seems like a very clever man, he is hypocritical. His friend is Franklin. The Franklin is a gentleman farmer. He has big lands, he has cultivation, he has animals. And his greatest enjoyment is eating good food. He ate according to the season. And there was a big table ready, set with food. When somebody came, he would immediately feed them. He was one man with great hospitality. The Franklin is compared to St. Julian in his hospitality. This Franklin had a beard as white as a daisy, and his pouch was as soft and white as morning milk. Wow. The Franklin is a sheriff, a knight of the shire. He's a very powerful man. Then there are the 5 guildsmen, the 5 artisans who work with their hands. The 5 guildsmen are carpenter, weaver, dyer, haberdasher, and tapestry maker. They are newly rich. Their wives want to be called madams. Their sword sheaths are tipped with silver. Silver is because they are rich. It is not tipped with brass, but silver. Silver is because they are rich. Also, silver means they want to ward off the evil eye. That is also the meaning of silver. Then there is the wife of Bath. One more thing is there. The 5 guildsmen will not cook their own food. They have brought a cook. The 5 guildsmen have brought a cook with them. This cook is very clever at roasting, frying, boiling, all the different techniques of cooking that had just developed in the medieval period. The cook could taste London ale. He would drink ale or beer and say, "This is from London." And this man, Chaucer says, had a sore on his shin below his knee. And from the sore, white pus was flowing. And Chaucer says, this man made white sauce for chicken. He made white sauce. And we know that Chaucer is comparing this white sauce with the pus that is running from his shin. Ugh. Our cook sleeps with his mouth open and there are bad smells. Then there is wife of Bath. She is 5 times married at church door. Matlab, she has many other husbands and lovers. She has come on this pilgrimage to find her 6th husband. She is from Bath. Bath is famous for cloth making and embroidery. Our wife of Bath is also good at it. She is wearing expensive clothes. She is wearing a hat as wide as a shield. She is wearing a veil that is at least 10 pounds, says Chaucer. Such a heavy, expensive veil. She is wearing expensive clothes and she is protecting her clothes with a cover. She has put a cover on her legs to protect her dress from mud. She has also worn scarlet stockings. Scarlet is the color of royalty. It is very expensive. And she is worldly. She loves worldly possessions. She has traveled across the world. She has gone to Jerusalem thrice. And she is worldly because she is interested in sexual affairs. She likes telling amorous stories. This is wife of Bath. She has a gap between her teeth that shows her lustfulness, lasciviousness. Did you understand, guys? Next, we have the physician. The physician or the doctor. He is very good at diagnosing all the diseases. He uses astronomy to talk about diseases. And our physician loves gold. He is greedy for money. But Chaucer innocently says he loves gold probably because gold is useful in medicine. This man takes care of his body very much because he eats very less food, but he doesn't care for his soul because the physician doesn't know his Bible. The physician prescribes medicines that are more useful for himself and his chemist than for the patients. The medicines that he prescribes are more useful for him. It will fill his purse. The physician is wearing a red and blue silk dress. Did you understand? And then there is the reeve. The reeve is taking care of people's estates. He is a slender, choleric man. Choleric means relaxed and quiet. He is not very enthusiastic man. He is very good at foretelling the harvest and taking care of the granaries. Shepherds, agents, laborers are all afraid of him. The reeve has stick-like legs. And it is, he has to be suspected for having cheated his masters. He's a shady character. Maybe he has made money by cheating his masters. That is the reeve. Then there is the sailor or the shipman. He sails a ship called Magdalene. This man is originally from the place called Dartmouth. He is always used to traveling by ship and he doesn't know how to ride a horse. He is sitting uncomfortably on his horse. He is very dark complexioned because of the sun. The shipman is actually treacherous. He is killing the prisoners that he gets from the sea by pushing them into the ocean. And he is also stealing wine from the merchants who sleep on the ship. He is undoubtedly a rascal. Then there is the manciple. He is a man who works for at least 30 lawyers, but he cheats all of them. All the 30 lawyers will help him when he is in need, but he will cheat them. Then there is the miller. He plays the bagpipe. He is a very stout man. Fat and stout and very strong. Chaucer is full of admiration for him. Chaucer says he will easily out-wrestle even a ram. Ram is a male goat. And Chaucer says, instead of opening doors, this man lifts the doors and sets them aside. Instead of opening doors, he will physically lift them from their hinges and put them aside. The miller is a treacherous man. At that time, there was the saying, the proverb, that an honest miller has a gold thumb. That means an honest miller will make money. Our miller is literally making money with his thumb. When he weighs corn, when he takes the weight of corn, he is pushing the corn with his thumb. He is pushing the scales with his thumb. Thus, he is getting more money than he deserves. He is treacherous, the miller. He has a thick nose with a wart on it and a tuft of hair on the wart. So vulgar. Did you understand? Finally, there is the host and the narrator. The host, Harry Bailey, is like an inbuilt audience and critic. He is listening to the characters, he is commenting on them, he is supporting them sometimes, he is stopping others. The host is like the director of a play. Our narrator Chaucer, he is very innocent and naive. He is always saying good things about everybody. And he is a very fat, plump man. There's a lot of irony in his speech. So these are the major characters in the Canterbury Tales. I hope you loved the characters, and also I hope you loved the video. If you like it, I will be back with more. Thank you.